Hello, everybody, and welcome back to more BTS America's action. We're in our fourth season so far, and it's Fire Dota versus T-Show in our opening series right now. I'll give you a brief glimpse. Again, we have another 16 teams gathered together to play it out for about $10,000 of prize pool money. And ignore that score indicator there at the bottom. It is T-Show, of course, up the one game. After this series, we're going to be having a matchup. It looks like Animal Kingdom versus Evernova should be the match here. So let's get back into action right now. It's myself, KotLGuy, and I'm going to be joined once again by Blaze. Blaze, welcome back. We just witnessed what some may say a bit of an upset here as T-Show are able to pull out the win. And as we were chatting a bit between games, how much do you think we can contribute this to maybe Fire Dota being either rusty, out of practice? There might even be a lack of practice partners out there right now. What would you really contribute this to?
I mean, it was clear that they didn't have the ability to control how the game played out, and a lot of that seemed to be a little bit of rust. The way the supports moved in the early game, while Fluff and stuff and Whitebeard are usually really crisp in finding their targets and to execute early ganks and such, they failed to actually finish off anybody in the Night Stalker Darkseer dual lane. They go ahead and go for an impossible gank on the Invoker where there was absolutely no way that they'd even really derail his laning phase. So it just seemed like, and then the Phoenix goes bottom, and it just gets all split up. So I feel like a lot of the early movement really didn't set up the OD for success or anybody for success to a significant enough degree, and that comes down to a little bit of rust, making inefficient rotations. It might just be they need a few games to get their head on straight and figure out exactly where they need to be and win. So they're still drafting pretty similarly. They still feel confident with the Jimmy Beastmaster. In this case, it looks like Dragon Fist on the DP. But neither one of these heroes are really considered significant counters to the Invoker. The Invoker has longer cast range than the Beastmaster. Invoker can definitely beat out the DP in the 1v1. And if you get a couple of ganks, if T-Show picks up ganking supports like they did before, they can absolutely turn the mid lane into a 2v1, 3v1, and with the cold snap set up some really early kills.
They certainly do love to continue this trend of flashy aggression coming out already. I didn't happen to notice there. Was it T-Show who just decided they wanted the first pick with their choice in game 2? Because it was the coin flip win by Fire, and they opted for Dire. They will get Dire again, and I just wager it was T-Show who probably got first pick. Is that correct? I didn't even notice.
Looks like, yeah, they just chose first pick, whereas in the previous game, Fire chose Dire intentionally.
All right, fair enough right now, and we'll have to see where they opt to take it here. Maybe getting Justin something a bit different. Wasn't the most impressive OD game. Could be a contributing factor to all the elements you were talking about in the early game. But this time it looks like Death Prophet could be potentially the grab form. We'll have to see if it's him or Dragon Fist who actually, does play the DP. But T-Show banning out the Oracle here doesn't always seem like a necessary ban unless you're thinking about going for either the Darkseer or the Bat Rider. And it looks like Fire Dota will see that, say, okay, well, you don't get the Darkseer. I wonder if T-Show will opt for the Bat Rider instead, or if now they just wasted a ban on Oracle. It feels a bit too out there. We'll see.
Yeah. I hope that Whitebeard goes Mirana here. I hope they go for like a Mirana Shadow Demon would be, again, fine against the Ursa. But I just feel like they want to really enhance their early presence, and Whitebeard Mirana is always capable of doing that pretty much. Like, obviously there are exceptions to it, but in this case I feel like they should have the vision advantage early, and they should be able to kind of find those opportunities. So I'd love to see Mirana Shadow Demon as the phase 2, or even just the Mirana, and just kind of play around it with the DP and the Beastmaster having the potential to really levy advantage in the laning phase. I would love to see something like that, just setting them up for success.
How come Fire doesn't go for like a Chen? We know Fluff plays a decent Chen. Why is Chen just not a thing here, man?
Good question. Obviously, if they wanted to go for harder early push, then they have that option. I know that Fluff in this patch prefers the Enchantress over the Chen and has picked it up a lot of times, whereas the Chen have very few. I don't think Chen's bad. I mean, Hand of God is obviously really good with the DP, the pushing factor with the Beastmaster, but we're going to be seeing a completely different vein of thought here with a Venomancer. And, I mean, obviously Gale's great against the Ursa, but again, heroes like Oh, they banned out the Darkseer. Okay, that's what you got to do. You ban into pick, and with the Darkseer ban out, the Venomancer definitely has greater value, but even still is a little bit limited. He's going to keep the towers safe, and the Invoker won't be able to push early by himself. the Ursa will have harder time staying on target with things like the Spirit Siphon and the Venomous Gale,
10
both of which
seconds
stick
remaining.
after you activate a BKB.
Uh-huh.
But you could just go for like an Abaddon in the laning
5
phase.
seconds
Abaddon, Lion,
remaining.
Ursa, that sounds like a really scary tri-lane, and you're still going to allow him to stay on his target.
Yeah, it's a great way. Use the
Reserve
Apothic Shield to kind of purge off any sort of trouble. You already have a Lion on your team if you were going to be, because when you commit for something like a Abaddon, I know it's something you even pointed out on Twitter not long ago. You're going to be lacking a bit in the lockdown and the stun department, but they got it covered with Lion now, so I could see that it being as a formidable pairing. Hell, let's go full NA and just throw them in the offlane while we're at it, I suppose, here for T-Show. Maybe
Abaddon,
maybe not.
Ursa, dual lane, man. That's where it's at.
Yeah. Venomancer, though. Now, this is something that, if I wasn't really kind of glancing at Dota Pit and any other events, I'd be like, this is out of left field. But for some reason or other, there's something in the water, and people are feeling like Venomancer is potentially something. Secret played it not that long ago in their Game 1 matchup against Navi and got a win with it. I believe in that game, it looks like it was we who did play it in the mid lane here. Is that a possibility here? At that time, they also paired it with a Drow Ranger, or do we feel like this is just support? I still want to be convinced on why we feel Venomancer needs to be here and now. What is happening?
I mean, I like the idea of the scouting potential of the Plague Wards, the ability to cancel Blink Daggers on Ursa Online with the Plague Wards.
10 seconds remaining.
The Gale is really strong this game, but I don't know. Like
Radiant
while
team
I think that Venomancer is strongest in the mid lane, I don't think you want to put a DP and Veno as your two cores that deal damage. Like obviously there's physical and magical, but that's not the point. The point is that their item scaling is very different from a late game strat. Now, if they have this much push behind them, if they go for the Shadow Shaman support like this, and the Beastmaster obviously is a great pusher in the offlaner, then it could very well be a Death Prophet
10
safe lane,
seconds
where they just
remaining.
come online really early, Justin gets a couple items, gets the Yules, and they start
5
pushing tier 2s.
seconds
The
remaining.
Venomancer has his ultimate, has a Plague Ward, maybe goes for an early mech Arcanes, and just allows
Dire
them
team ban.
to build their momentum, or just goes for the Veil that we saw in the most recent major Venom game, and just builds momentum by having overwhelming damage output. So just there's a lot of ways that you could do it. Generally speaking, Death Prophet will never be a viable safe laner because of
10
how
seconds
the
remaining.
tempo plays out and how weak she is as like a late game hero. But
5
in this
seconds
case,
remaining.
if you're just trying to end the game within the first 25, 30 minutes, then I could see them actually doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
And
And then
it's
you
already
can see the Chen.
Oh yeah, there is the Chen. Oh, we have ban on the Bounty Hunter. Yeah, that seems to make sense. Going extra either greedy in the woods, building on the push. I think they should keep the trend of summon something and push, and something like Enigma could do that. Summon something and push. I mean,
10
it's just the whole
seconds
spread
remaining.
right now. So we'll have to see if they're going to be able to meet the agenda for these objectives because they seem thirsty
5 seconds
for
remaining.
towers. Maybe not looking to get too shaken up about game number 1. But T-Show, man, they picked up a
Reserve
couple of combo
time.
breakers. They got that Tide Hunter right there. That could definitely disrupt the flow, but is having better outspam, if you will, or some way to kind of deal with this push, something that needs to be on their priority list. They have a support position to work with, Blaze, so we got to consider what the best options could plausibly be.
I mean, T-Shows just want to be able to win that one big fight, where a push lineup is really starting to gain momentum. They have a significant net worth advantage, and they're just gung-ho about going for towers. If you can get like a good ultimate out of the Tidehunter, you can suddenly just follow through and turn that gold momentum around, get a lot of comeback gold, and every fight after that one becomes a lot easier. But overall, the Tide isn't that great of a hero against the sources of damage you're looking for. He'll block the boar right-click, but that's about it. Otherwise, most of these hits you can't block. A lot of it's magical, or in the Death Prophet's Exorcism's case, physical. So, yeah, overall, the Tide is not that tanky here, but he is still a very strong initiator. Even still, though, with the Bounty Hunter banned out, I would almost guarantee that we're going to be seeing Fluff and Stuff jungling with either the Enigma or the Chen, and he has both
Dire
options available
team
to him now.
Yeah, peculiar ban on the gyrocopter here.
Okay, they go for the support Veno.
That
All
guy
right.
doesn't summon anything or push, but you know what? It's fine. OD, again, a run back possibly here for Justin if they don't decide to really flip it up. Does feel like their team overall does lack a bit on like the big meaty frontliners, but I suppose that's why you got all these creatures and critters to kind of do all that work for you. It will feel like any team fight would be freaking chaos though, Blaze, with the drop of a freaking the Poison Nova, the wards are going to have to need attention.
10
There's ghosts, so
seconds
you want to
remaining.
focus down Death Prophet. This could be a tricky game for T-Show if they're
5
not
seconds
really
remaining.
composed. These fights could break out and be pretty damn hectic. We'll have to see now what they're going to decide with about 40
Reserve
seconds to
time.
go, how they're going to round out their 5-man spread. Still need that support right here.
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, you really want to focus on bursting the Death Prophet and controlling the OD. So, zoning the Beastmaster is kind of an afterthought. He's going to go Iron Talon. He's going to get farm anyways. So, your laning phase doesn't have to actually be that highly emphasized, but your mid game team fights have to be key. A big heavy hitter coming out. I mean, even like a Skywrath Mage seems viable as far as just like heavy burst on a Death Prophet. Trying to think of other heroes that can burst people down. Sand King's really good for that. Yeah, big AoE damage output, obviously good AoE control, and your laning phase is not going to get punished. Like worst case, you have a boar coming by and being annoying, but for the most part, Sand King should be able to sandstorm jungle, and it's going to be on Justin to play the safe lane Beastmaster. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, on my screen it's Demon with Beastmaster right now. So.
Okay, so I'm sure that's a bug, but
it's a bug probably.
I
had to like do a double take. I'm like, are you sure about this? And I look, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be a run back, it looks like. Just probably a minor bug. But yeah, I just to echo what you were saying, Sand King feels great. It provides that bit of outspam or whatever, if you will, being able to kind of break back the hefty push. Great AoE team fight. And thank you, Firefox. I now know I have an update available for download.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, so. It's going to be on Jimmy to block camps with different summons, obviously boars and hawks. But yeah, it's going to, maybe Plague Wards can come down. Maybe we can see Fluff and stuff get a little bit involved too. But you don't want that Sand King to get the 8-minute Blink Dagger timing that he's looking for here. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to keep the Death Prophet and OD alive. A good Sand King in this position can do a tremendous amount of work.
Prepare for battle.
And here we go, folks. Game number 2, T-Show versus Fire, our opening series here for BTS Americas 4. Action will not stop after the series does conclude. We have a follow-up series to come after this with the Invited Kingdom going against Evernova. Should be a good one. It'll be Blaze back for that one as well. But we still have a score to settle here. It's T-Show, who, well, some teams would consider a bit of an underdog going against Team Fire with the one-game advantage. Yeah, there are big names here on the side of Fire, including, you know, the classic Jimmy Ho Demon, Dragon Fist, who's a former streamer, and TA playing Pubstar, and Fluff and Whitebeard both coming from the Archon ship. But still, very rusty, maybe not a lot of practice together. We'll see if they can be able to make it work and move on to the next round, because we have to remember, Blaze, it's a single elimination. You know, not just the big boys like Dota Pit get to have that benefit here. BTS America's single elimination, do or frickin' die. Yeah,
so that's the real question. And honestly, although I've been really hyped about this roster ever since I've seen what Fire are capable of with these kind of pickup groups, I guess you could call them. Like, they get a kind of hodgepodge of really talented players, and they're able to really find some cohesion over time. So far, going based off what we've seen in Game 1 and going based on this draft, I gotta say that right now, T-Show seem in a really good position to 2-0 Fire, which obviously would be die in this single limb.
And that would certainly not be expected. You could even tell how the bracket was spread out, that they had what was at the time, of course, Archon at one side and then DC way at the bottom in hopes of a potential rematch from just the last BTS Americas. But obviously plans have changed, and we could end up seeing possibly a new champion here. We'll have to find out. Early pressure already on this ZS Invoker. He certainly did prove a bit of his worth with some flashy Sunstrikes, even as a frosting on top in his Invoker play in the last game. So this time, Fire want to make sure they add that extra bit of pressure here and don't allow him to kind of have that easy time.
Yeah. If there is Kraken Shell on the Tide, so Gale will not be his own demise, but Poison Sting, on the other hand, is something you can consistently apply up top, and it's going to be very frustrating for the Tide. Luckily, he did buy out 8 Tangos, and he's going to go for the Iron Talon early, so you know that he's going to still have an okay landing phase where he can sustain, he can get the experience he needs, and then he can start jungling.
Now there is Whitebeard hanging back in the shadows. Now he shows himself. Tide Hunter 180s. He's looking to make a run. Can Whitebeard get the catch with the shackles? Nope.
No, he leveled Aether Shock to harass mid, so this is just a poke and a prod.
You know what? I hate how those two icons are a bit similar. I just kind of glance down and I see orange and sparkles, and I assume that's shackles. But nonetheless, you're right. It's more for the hefty burst nuking damage a bit and a little bit of extra harassment here. And both with him and the Venomancer, it certainly feels like a disgusting couple of supports to kind of be an off-laner stuck here. And as he goes for the side shop, there's that bit of harassment already coming out. And it looks like an early D-ward of a sentry will be in order for Fluff. And as we check, how's the bottom lane looking for Demon right now, who's stuck against his own aggro lane? Hasn't been caught out, but also a bit dry as far as CS goes. Only got one, but they're making a dive. They're thinking about it here. Okay.
They just want to try to get him out of experience range of all the Radiant creeps that are dying under tower. But Jimmy's hiding out in the jungle, so he should be able to get a decent bit of the experience. And yeah, in the meantime, Sanking's not actually getting too much in terms of stacking going on
Dire's
here. Like
bottom
there
tower
obviously
is
was
under
the
attack.
multiple blocks from Jimmy
Dire's
to the northeast,
structures are
and
fortified.
didn't get either of the either medium or hard camp. So that is quite unfortunate for the Sand King. His progression is going to be a little bit slow, even though he's getting good experience and he's making his way to level 3 very quickly, where that second point in Sandstorm comes out. He's actually not getting enough otherwise. So it's going to be slow rolling for the Sand King, and Beastmaster's actually out leveling the Tide significantly.
Looks like a potential long track here for Whitebeard. Made his move from top now at mid lane as he hangs and waits behind the tower. Leaves Fluff to solo zone back Tavos here, Tidehunter. And Whitebeard is going to make the long run with the help of those boots down to bottom to help out. It was last game as well that we saw this Ursa take over the CS King, and he's juggling it back and forth right now with Justin on his OD. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to make anything of it. It looks like Lion's going to assist in making up some of the stacks that you were talking about Sand King was lacking, so he'll have a little bit of benefit there. Won't be quite the golden par for getting up an early Blink Dagger, but he is certainly making moves already to kind of get a good timing nonetheless.
Yeah, that's the hope anyways. We'll see. The Shadow Shaman, actually, Whitebeard stacking the Dire Ancients, which actually surprises me, because you're not going to be seeing Wild Axes significantly skilled in the early stage of this game. It means I probably have to commit an ultimate to clear a multi-stacked Ancient. Like, if it's a quad stack of Ancients, you have to either use Master from Wards or an Exorcism just to declare out those Ancients. And it can absolutely be worth it, but it's much easier for a hero like Tidehunter to clear it out.
Tavo up top lane, not allowing them to get too much from it. He wants to at least etch his way into some decent XP. He's short now on regen though, so we'll have to hope for just some last bits of farm trying to finish out that Talon before he can kind of find his own respectable farm elsewhere. He will commit the, he's trying to body block him here. Look at Fluff now. Just being a bit of a nuisance. I don't think there's any potential for him to get the finish, but now OD's here. Blocked it enough for Justin to show up. Sunstrike, nice sidestep from Fluff, will not be caught by it. And because of the rotation, they are not going to get that kill opportunity, and Fire will have to pull back. We have yet to see our first blood shed. Maybe bottom lane it could be there. They got the grab, the shackle onto Ursa, and now Jimmy trying to get a bit of his own body blocking, but not going to help against the phase boots. Here comes Dragon Fist. Soul Siphon already out. He goes man mode to try to slash her down, but it's not going to be enough. They don't suspect the rotation from Lady Death Prophet, and it will be first blood shed by T-Show.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the Arcane Orb would have been enough from Justin, but he actually uphill missed in that situation against the Tidehunter. It was very awkward, but he moves just slightly down the steps to get a better angle on the attack from the forthcoming TPs, and he actually did uphill miss. So I think the Tide still lives with like 10 HP, but it is damn close. So yeah. It's one of those things where, you know, could have been, but either way, they get the kill down bottom with a great rotation from Dragon Fist, and finally we see some momentum for Fire in the early stage. The OD is top of the net worth here. The Ursa not too far behind, but with the Beastmaster Hawk again inhibiting the ability to get into the pit, I feel like it's going to be hard for T-Show to break into the mid game cleanly, especially since again that Blink is so slow.
He spots out the camp. Oh, he wanted to axe in there and maybe get some kills, but unfortunately the Centaur far away. He was able to sap up at least a couple of extra XP from it. He'll get every little bit he can, and that's just more of the benefit of having that extra bit of vision on the map for himself. So takes his business back bottom. He's about level 5.5 here, so Primal Roar soon to be available and ready. Will complement Dragon Fist, who has an Exorcism already good to go. And for Justin here, he's still trying to get his level 6 on this OD. He's still beating out the Invoker, but back and bottom here. Whitebeard in trouble, a little bit of a tussle towards the rune. He heads into Roche. Roche, do me the favor, please, bro. Oh, big Mighty Stomp comes out. He gets off the shackle, and that is going to be not enough. Sand King's going to be able to hit him down with one last right click. Can Tavo make it away? It looks like he will be able to make it out. Oh, T-Show move in, they get the kill, though.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if they know the Tide is so low mana, Jimmy can go for a very long-distance play. The Sand King could have prevented this death, but now we see Beastmaster right on top of him. I'm going to go in. One Pointing Kraken Shell along with that Iron Talon. It doesn't make it easy for him to survive, but Boar connects, and that's the big deal. Boar connects means one more right-click, and that's going to be a kill. With the TP available, he could absolutely just TP out right now.
And he will. He's going to be good. They're not going to be able to stop it. Sand King is close, but he wasn't able to kind of head south. He was already too far up north to not get the catch with a Burrow Strike on that one here. Mid lane, Whitebeard in hopes of trying to get the catch on the Invoker. That opportunity will be lost He will avoid
There was
the
an
trouble.
exchange up top. The Fluff caught the line in a gale, but he actually gets denied by a neutral creep. So unfortunately, they weren't able to get much out of that.
So Lion is going to unfortunately have to take the long walk back, but at least for him, getting the neutral denied nonetheless, and denying that away from Team Fire. And we'll have to see what kind of setups they look for now, as Demon does have his level 6. Whitebeard taking his business to the bottom. That's going to be the roar. They're looking to go on to Tavo here. Ether Shock, now the Shackle. And here comes the Sand King. He's trying to line up a twofer, but not going to get it. He goes instead and at least stops out Demon. And with that, and Tavo soaking up some Tango regen, he's going to be good. He actually steps in, gets off the Anchor Smash onto both, and they're fine. They will shrug off the gank, and there will be 2 missed opportunities there for Team Fire.
Yeah, but with this Hawk Vision, they know that they're really suppressing this lane. I mean, anytime Ty comes forward, the Wiper could just go in for another Shackle, and he's going to do it. Mismanages his positioning, but I think he's still going to get in range. And with the Ether Shock, or not even with the Ether Shock, just with the level 2 Shackles, gets that kill. And this is a build that I actually theorycrafted a little bit right when the patch came out that buffs Shackles in so many ways. The damage, the cooldown, this ability is so amazing. It just comes down to whether or not the channel gets broken. And obviously in a 2v1 with a Sand King that's so low he can't get anywhere near the fights, you're going to get that full duration, and you're going to get that damage that the Tide just can't withstand, having already triggered Kraken Shell in the previous back and forth.
And with the damage already being done there in the bottom lane, this allows Fire to easily open up on the tier 1. It will be a committed exorcism there from Justin. He might make the best of what's left of it in the woods nearby, but big boost now for Fire. An early look at the net worth. You can see it's only about 1K their way, so nothing too dramatic as we finish out looking at the CS scoreboard right now. Still Justin at the top, the mighty 62, 21 denies, and for Ursa, he's got his Morbid Mask done now, and he takes his business into the woods. And all the meanwhile, it does look like they are able to get the grab. Whitebeard caught out from ZS. The Invoker will pick up that kill and just take the 1 freebie.
Yep, in the meantime, Lion makes unfortunately failed rotation, and now it's going to actually cost him his life as he goes in even further. Like, he's trying to just kind of be annoying here, but Death Prophet TP's up, and they just kill him off. The Lion broke smoke, didn't snipe a courier, just tried to go on the OD, who has very fast-paced movement speed, and in the end, he just ends up feeding. So with the Ursa goes to jungle, the Lion can take the lane solo, and oftentimes that means a faster level 6, but here, the Lion has just died twice without contributing much at all.
Now we check back at mid lane. Invoker has his Midas now picked up, so the economy game going to begin to really build up for him right now. Fluff is nearby, but only providing a little bit of extra vision with his wards here. Not looking at too much ganking as of yet. As I sway past C4T here, this Lion is a bit off the mark as far as where he wants to be in this game. Still only level 3, trying to get to level 4. Definitely would love to have the near potential of a finger in that burst at this point, especially going against the Death Prophet and all these heroes. You really don't want to linger around when they love these long-winded battles. Invoker, though, gets the catch up onto Dragon Fierce. Cold Snap, Forge, Sunstrike, nice sidestep. Now just going to hope for the deny. Not going to get it. The last auto attack is going to be there on the other side. They are going to get off the roar and the quick finish onto the Sand King. They look for Tavo now. Tavo, well, he's going to be going down. Not level 6 yet. Not going to be able to have the Ravage. That could have been a game changer potentially for T-Show, but they have not been able to really thrive in the early laning stage. Not happening here. Tries to go for a TP. C4T, though, is going to be caught out. Shackles and an Astral will both be there. And one last right click will come out from Justin, and it will be Fire getting a huge boost.
Yeah, very nicely done there. Are able to secure a number of big kills, and I think the most important part of it is setting back the Sand King for his Blink Dagger. He was actually getting very close, only I would say maybe 3 stacks of hard camp away from finishing up that Blink, and at a pretty good timing. But now he's down to 1400. He feels compelled to make a gank play, and under tower against a Venomancer, it gets a little dicey.
Something might need to be done here, mid lane.
Top
lane, they make their move for Fluff. He's got no mana. And they are going to get the stomp. The Sand King gets a lot of damage under the tower, but is able to connect with the Burrow Strike. They'll take down the support Venomancer, but all the meanwhile, it's going to be Fire who grab up this tier 1 mid lane. And I'm curious to see how Fluff will be playing out this Venomancer here. I've seen the, different sense where, yeah, you can go straight Veil and make the most out of your poison DPS damage, or straight for the Ags to kind of get the biggest Nova possible. But overall, trying to just benefit from getting extra durability just can make you so annoying in this game when you're committing these hard ganks from across the map, and it takes so much extra effort just to bring them down. And then when you walk away from that fight, you probably were Poison Nova up and hit with a couple of sting shots, and you're not going to be really battle ready after. He could be a very annoying hero to deal with, but it looks like in the meantime he'll just get the extra mana boost from some arcane boots. I don't know if Aether Lens is something he could consider. Do you think that's a pretty good item for Venomancer? I mean, you get the magical boost and longer range for maybe Gale and wards?
I would say you still want to go for the Veiled Discord by comparison. I mean, you've got Ether Shock, you've got the OD ulti, and then you've got your own spells. I think the Veil does a lot more, and I don't think Ether is all that strong in this condition. You get Ether much more for the range than you get it for the bonus damage. It's best when you get a hero that can take advantage of both. The Maul, increased cast range of Plague Wards, and a little bit longer Venomous Scale can be really good. It generally doesn't make a difference.
They will commit the wards here to take down this Roche, and it looks like T-Show are heading that way, but they're too late. Will Ursa, though... Oh, he's still going in. He thinks he can make something happen. They're going to get the quick Astral here and quickly fire. Will reposition. They look for their proper focus target here. Tavo will going to set up the big ulti. Not going to get the chance. And up and above, an Epicenter is going to get the return blow, finishing off Demon. He's able to still get the rage off. And now they converge on for Tavo here. Turns back and, well, without a Ravage, can't offer a lot. But, oh, man, Zia steps in. Mighty Chaos Meteor here, but that's all the firepower they can really have. AAA moves in, trying to get the slashes for Dragon Fist. Invoker's already gone, TV's away, and, well, Ursa will get shackled up and taken down. Dragon Fist with a triple kill on his Death Prophet. Huge fight right now for Fire, as they take down multiple targets right there. The Ursa, and claiming about a 1K net worth for them.
Yeah, definitely a very positive 3 for 2 for Fire. But in the end, I still look at T-Show's items, and they're going to be going even stronger in the next fight. They've got the Blink Dagger on the Ursa, on the Sand King, and I think that's a really big deal for how positioning shapes up and how just the quick jumps come through. I feel like if Fire are aware of how the fights are going to break out, if they get to set the stage with things like Mad Serpent wards, Plague wards, even the Boar summons, like I feel like they're always going to have an advantage. But now that there's Blink mobility, T-Show can kind of change where the fight takes place and get the key initiation that can start giving them more fight opportunities. So Fire devastate that fight, only losing really the Aegis, but now we'll see what T-Show can do.
Whitebeard pops their smoke early. Oh, Dragon Fist, though, just hustles behind the tower, quickly gets taken down. It will cost them their Sand King, though, as Justin's able to kind of bulldoze right through him. Tier 1 will be dropped, as it's going to be Demon who picks up the last hit on that one. Looking to converge from behind. C4T gets spotted out, and they're like, get that frickin' lion. As he heads back into the woods without a TP, they're thinking about just kind of pulling out the Bloodhounds at this point and flanking him out. Meanwhile, Ursa, though, gets to catch onto his own piece of meat. It's Demon, who is going to get slashed down. Fluff steps in, gets off a Gale, and blocks them out with the ward. He's going to be forced to Chaos Meteor, and look at this, Tavo flirting around. No Ravage. Still 30 seconds before that will be up and ready. Still C4T, though, trapped in the woods here, Blaze. He is finding the way out right now. It looks like he'll head up and north. They're not going to be able to get the scout on this lion. That situation could have been a lot worse, but really it only ends up being Demon who does go down.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like Demon has always been in the aggressive position in these games. Just in general, he's the one who looks to not necessarily die for the team, but put himself in the position where he can set up the team for successful kills. And once the OD gets Blink, that's a lot more effective. Actually, is that on the court? Yeah. All right. So you have the Blink on the OD. Now he can kind of follow through. Whenever Jimmy's taking all that damage, he'll pop the Primal Roar, pop the Necros, and then OD will be able to clean up because they just wasted 3 spells on the Beast Bouncer. But prior to that, there really wasn't any opportunity to turn it around, and it was just kind of an unfortunate death. Now up top, I think there should be an opportunity here. The Ursa with Overpower already primed in the Blink Dagger.
But they're making their own opportunity, looking to go for the line. He even blinks right into the lap of the Ursa. They have the burst, and they will be able to get the kill. And now they go for their next target, and with that Primal Roar, they will do it. Ursa goes down. That will be 2 for Fire. All the meanwhile, it looks like it will be Invoker who gets that sneaky grab, taking down Fluff and the Venomancer here. But still a much bigger win for Fire. And now they're even going to commit the wards. They're looking to take a tier 2 with them on the way out.
Such a clutch Blink dodge coming out from Justin. I mean, if he doesn't dodge that Earth Spike, gets fingered, then just gets pounded on by the Ursa, depending on the roar timing, he's either at 10% HP or just dead. And from there, obviously the exchange is very different, even with Whitebeard's flank. But instead, they take that. They nearly kill Tavo with a big Eclipse in mid, but it's just short. No, it treads, man. He was on strength, and that means Tavo walks away.
That is unfortunate, and that is the difference right there. He's able to make it out with 30-somewhat life. Bottom lane, though, Soul Siphon here. They're looking to go for the Sand King. Burrow back, sets up for the Sunstrike. He gets the epi off, but he is just epping his way into his own grave. Not nearly enough to burst down Dragon Fist right here. With those drums, he is able to kind of soak up a lot of the damage right now. And nearby, Ursa, who's farming up, potentially getting scouted by Whitebeard. Whitebeard's hanging around here, doesn't have a ward. He's
confident. Like, that's a friggin' bear. I don't think that any support should be able to just walk up so confidently, but it's almost a bluff as you imply that something's behind you.
He's gonna get gobbled up right now.
He's got the quick hex, man. Quick fingers. Whitebeard. He's just baiting it out.
There it is. Jump, slash. He gets the hex, and here comes Dragon Fist. Soul, but doesn't matter. Enraged.
Shackle!
And because of it, he's not going to be able to get the proper shackle. It's a misfire, and now it could cost Dragon Fist his life too. Oh! Dragon Fist is able to get the kill, it looks like, under Ursa. The ghosts are going to expire, which means Dragon Fist will have all that life. Thinks about making a move for Sand King, but Invoker does come in. He'll reposition and step away. Reinforcements on the move, though. Here comes Justin. Invis rune for him. Low mana here for Invoker. Boom. Pops him with an Astral. And now they reconverge. They can get off a Crypt Swarm. It's just enough. Silence is also going to be there, but he's got the Force. Makes it away, but boom. Bang. Bong. Boom. One more. Boom. They get it. Justin picks it up. Mega kill for him. It's certainly a nice 180 from game number 1. Fire firing off on all cylinders at this point, and they're going to get another tower. It looks like the bottom tier 2.
Yeah, at this point, T-Show desperately need to win a full-on engagement. We're actually going to be seeing the Master Morse coming up top, which seems to be another misfire from Whitebeard. Missed the Shackle bottom, and now wastes his ultimate up top. He'll farm a few creep waves with it while his teammates push out the other lanes, but in general, just not getting the value out of that cooldown. And now, I would say T-Show have the cooldown advantage. They've got their ultimates. The Epicenter's back in 25, and Tides are got the Ravage, which he's going to need to use very soon.
Right now. He goes in. No. Gush. Silence. Boom again. He's going to be out. No Ravage for you, sir. 40 seconds. No buyback. This could go from bad to worse from T-Show now. Maybe even quickly the game. They'll wipe out another. That's going to be 2. Down for 30 seconds. And, well, with this, move in, clear out the last outer wall. Man, they even got a catch onto Ursa here. They're going to catch him up with the shackles, and he's dead.
He was either caught talking or typing. He was just standing there waiting and had a good half a second to react from the Fog of War, but he gets Hex instead of blinking out, and now they go to the high ground, extremely confident.
Oh, not enough. One more right click would have done it, and he could potentially have gotten them both, but a quick Hex reaction will stop Justin in his place. Doesn't stop Fire from rolling in and doing some dirty work inside the base here. T-Show, though. They clear out that tier 3. They clear out that Rax. Looks like they'll walk away with that big win right now. That is a huge economy boost. No. The pump fake?
I don't know.
The fake back?
I feel like the Senki could have gone there hard. Instead he gets roared. There's not going to be an Epicenter coming out easily here.
Oh, not enough yet. Now Justin changes targets, man. He hits like a frickin' truck. And now Godlike gets that kill, gets a double, gets 2 for. Can we get a triple? No, we can't. Dragon Fist is going to stop that one with his own killing spree. Oh, a confident jump in. This might have been just the white flag, and it is. C4T calls it. We're going to a game 3 as Fire will be able to close out this second game at just over 20 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of factors in that one. I would say the Sand King really didn't get the start that he was looking for. The Ursa obviously tried to play this game the same way that he did the previous game, where he was able to dive in heavily. He was able to get at least a 1-for-1 with all of his jumps, but in this case, it was proved quite difficult. He commits to a lot of fights. He dies 6 times in total, and this is only a 20-minute game. So overall, we got to see a lot more out of Justin Zodi. In fact, ending the game 11-0-5 and getting all 3 core items up at the appropriate time. The drum, the blink, the BKB. Must-have items in most games, and here he finds it well before the 20-minute mark. So good momentum built up for their safe lane, and I guess that comes down to the Venomancer being able to zone the tide in a very unique way with that Poison Sting.
Will we see Fire be able to pull out a 2-game return, or will T-Show be able to finish out this series with a bit of an upset? We'll find out soon. Our first series of BTS Americas 4 is going all 3 games. Small break, but when we get back, it's going to be game number 3 of Fire versus T-Show.